Good evening, warm welcome to the program on inventory and warehousing management. This is the 10th episode. If any one of you attending for the first time, request you to subscribe to our channel and watch all the previous video. It is going to give you a complete overview of end-to-end warehousing and inventory management. And whether you are looking for a job or you are already working in an organization and want to improve the performance, this program will definitely help. Of course, this is a free program so that it will help you in your career. Allow me to attach the PowerPoint slide. So this is the 10th episode. In this, we are going to see various storage and handling equipment which will be used in the warehousing environment. What are the manual kind of equipment as well as automated equipment? Especially if you are in Indian environment, you may see more of a basic kind of material handling and storage devices. Whereas if you are working in a large organization or multinational companies, maybe you may require yeah, a semi-automated or automated equipment. So let us see both storage as well as handling equipment in this session. By chance, if you are watching for the first time, please go back to previous session so that you will have a complete overview. And also we are going to continue in the future session for other topics in warehousing and inventory management. Before I start, let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Pattabhiraman. This is my Udemy profile. I have more than 3,000 candidates enrolled for various supply chain and allied programs in Udemy. You can also follow me or connect with me in LinkedIn. And of course you can see some of my certification which is available below my name. These are globally recognized certifications. And if you are in the job market, you should have any of this certification, especially if you are looking for a good job in a multinational company. You need these certifications. Let us dive into the topic. We are Let us see about the handling and storage. We have started this program on warehousing, that the best warehouse is no warehouse. Same thing applies here for handling also. It involves the best handling is least handling. You should not handle at multiple time. So when you say, if you are practicing best supply chain process, then no warehousing. But by chance, if you have warehouse, then the best policy is to avoid or minimize the material handling. It's not that you are receiving, putting it to the racks and moving it to some other location, then picking at multiple location and issuing to the customer. So here the idea should be minimizing the touch point. Okay, whatever we are doing is a touch point in the warehouse, so you have to minimize that. Handling adds cost, but it does not add any value to the process. Coming first to the storage equipment, we'll see handling equipment subsequently. So you should understand there is always a trade-off between speed, cost, and capacity. So if you are going for a sophisticated item, maybe you will have a better quality, ease of handling. But at the same time, if you want to minimize the cost, especially in India, nobody wants to go to completely automated storage equipment. So and this is where we are going to start with the block stacking, which means we are going to store the item on the floor, especially when the ceiling height is very less and you are going to have a bulky item like what you see in the image. Then you are going to directly store on the floor. This is called block stacking. Okay, used in circumstances where warehouse height is reasonably low, where the product and packaging are robust and budget are tight. You have to keep it in mind. budget or tight means you are trying to minimize the cost. Okay, typical product could be like a washing machine, refrigerator, barrel, or you have some other pallet cases here like you see in the image. There are advantages as well as disadvantage. Advantage could be ease of location or identification handling, but let us focus on disadvantage. Difficult to access sufficient space for forklift. Also, to access the bottom pallet, top pallet must be moved. Okay, you can see this advantage, disadvantage may not be there in other form of storage. Okay, damage, the item at the bottom can be crushed by weight of the item above, so it's also a design requirement that you should see the steadiness of the packaging, so that you are not going to keep one item above the other, or the packaging should be suitably designed. So in this kind of a storage, you are going to have LIFO, not before, lost in first out, which may not be suitable in many of the application, especially when you are dealing with perishable item. So this is where it can create a problem, okay, for such kind of a goods. The next most affordable item could be a racked storage. This is where most of the organization, I can say 90% of the organization, they go for racked storage. So you can have wide aisle pallet racking, so you can directly put the pallet on the racks. Sometime even you can put the bins or the cotton on the rack. Common in majority of warehouses, most versatile without the need of any special material handling equipment. Of course, to lift the lead load, you need the pallet truck may be required. Every pallet is accessible at any time, and the racking is easy to install. If you are changing the layout or moving from one warehouse to another, the racking is very easy to dismantle and install. But at the same time, you have to be very careful what is the load bearing capacity of this rack, and that should be taken care. Access is also quick when we are doing this. So you need to know that rack is the basic form of storage in 90% of the organization. Then as we go further, we can see some other improvement like double deck racking. Here you can put two pallets on one side, and another side you can put two pallets. So the storage efficiency is going to increase in this kind of format. It allows the pallets to be stored too deep, still accessible from same aisle. A request requires some type of a specialist equipment, because when you have two pallet storing in one side, that normal forklift cannot directly enter and handle. So you need some form of a extendable fork to handle this type of pallets. Requires slightly wider aisles, but at the same time overall storage capacity or efficiency is going to improve with this product. In both the front and the back pallet needs to be same. So LIFO applies, lost in first out applies here. There is a next form which is called narrow aisle racking. So the equipment should also be suitable to handle. Here you can see the width is where between the rack is very narrow, so you can increase the storage efficiency. And but you have to be careful on selecting a proper equipment, material angle equipment. So the aisle width can be as low as 1.5 meters. So a suitable aisle truck should be used here. So these material handling equipment, there is no necessity to turn, okay, as the forks extend from the side. Okay, no necessity to roundabout or make 90-degree turn. Of course, requires a V flat, very flat floor, and when height is excess of 10 meters. Otherwise, there can be a slippage or safety incidents. The next form is drive-in or drive-through racking. Of course, in each of the method, they will have advantage and disadvantage. Finally, if you are planning to have the warehouse in an urban center, you need to have higher storage efficiency. That's where we are seeing different formats. This as a L-shaped rail mounted on the racks relies on full pallet picks. So you cannot open the pallet and pick. Increased potential for damage to both and rack and product. Here what we are going to do is we are going to keep the pallet on one side and push through the forklift or some other equipment to the other end. Okay, so pallet flow storage is one more next variant driven by gravity. You can see the rack is tilted, not the rack, um, the platform on which we are going to keep the pallets is slanted, and it can be driven by gravity, perfect for fast moving goods with the before location rotation. So here this works fine for a FIFO condition wherever you have a requirement for FIFO, especially in perishable environment or pharmaceutical requirement. You may need this rack. However, there is a reduction in cubic utilization, and different product require different angle of inclination depending upon its weight. The next type of rack is called pushback racking. As the pallet is loaded from front, it pushes the pallet behind it back one position. When unloading, the front pallet is removed. The rear pallet automatically come forward to the front picking position. Coming to the mobile racking, once again, this gives you a lot of saving in space. Here, the racks are movable from one side to other side. You can see, and you can also lock. So it saves the gangways. Wherever the item is there, you are going to enter into the racking system, pick the item or store the item, and if you need to access the other one, you are going to push the rack. So it is mounted on a rails and can be movable, either motorized version or even you can use the forklift to move the height. The main advantage is to save the space. These racks are mounted on rollers. The next improvement to improved version is satellite or shuttle racking. So you have automated device for both the placing the item or picking the item. The shuttled or controlled remotely via radio frequency battery operated control system, and these racks will have special channel rails for material handling. Coming to the advanced shuttle technology, maybe you may see this variety of storage solution being used in e-commerce platform, where they have a huge variety of components, and the accuracy is important, and time required for placing and picking is very less. You need to go for this kind of automated shuttle technology. Works like a large sliding puzzle with multiple layers. Ballast input at one end are deposited onto cable driven carts, which can move both vertically and horizontally. Of course, all this you can also see in YouTube videos when you could put warehouse automated storage devices. You can find lot of videos. Of course, these are very expensive and not suitable for cheap labor environment like in India. We prefer to spend on labor rather than investing in automation. But in any case, if you desire speed as well as accuracy, then you have to go for this process. Very high bay warehouses. In fact, in advanced countries like Germany or US, you may see the very high bay. Maybe this extends to 50 or 60 meters. In fact, first these racks are mounted, then the warehouse is built around it, and it can store enormous amount of SKUs. Also, with the full automation, such a big warehouse can be operated by two or three warehouse operators. So you can imagine the amount of investment required, and it may not be suitable in our environment. Okay, it consists of massive blocks of racking built as an integral structure to a high degree of precision, and often acting as a support for building roof and wall cladding. Okay, this rack also supports as a strength to the warehouse building or roof. Height can go up to 60 meters. So also you need automated equipment to handle the products there. So there are other variety of medias available, especially if you are trying to store lengthier item like pipes or tubes. You need this kind of a cantilever storage arrangement, ideal for long or heavy items such as pipes. Efficiency, maybe you have to see how you are going to use a vertical space. So this is where you can also plan for mezzanine storage, where you can store below the mezzanine as well as above the mezzanine. Coming next to the material handling equipment, of course in our Indian environment we are going to go for a manual kind of a thing. Key principle of material handling is continuous movement is most economic. So the product should not stagnate anywhere, so it should keep on moving. Economy is directly proportional to size of load. Gravity is always cheap. That's where you can see gravity conveyors being used everywhere. Mechanization improves efficiency, but it comes with a huge capital investment. So the simplest form could be hand trolley, where manually you are going to pick a place and move this. So there is no automation involved, and 80% of the organization in India uses this kind of equipment. Factors in choosing correct equipment depends upon lower unit material handling cost. So when you have pressure on cost, possibly you can go to this kind of material handling unit. Reduces handling time, conserve the floor space, prevent injury to the staff. Always simple is the best one, where you are going to reduce the safety accidents, or you are not going to use the energy in this kind of devices. Of course, the selection involves define the function to be performed, review all the stock item or SKUs, and define their handling requirement. Not all the item is going to come in a cleanly packed condition or of the same size. So you need to decide what kind of product you are going to handle. Upon that, it will be designed. Understand the travel distance and the speed relationship. Limits of building and structure within is also important. And you can also see the basic pallet being handled by using the hand pallet truck. Okay, this is the simplest form. Maybe it is having some hydraulic jack only to lift and lower the pallet, but this is the basic cheapest form. Okay, coming to the powered pallet track is the next level, where it is operated under battery. Okay, next comes the tow tractors. You can move multiple pallets, or you can have a multiple trolley pulled by a engine, used for towing a long distance and move a number of pallets simultaneously. So these are expected to improve productivity. Automated guided vehicle, of course most of the e-commerce platform use this kind of vehicle. In fact, they are also called robos. Amazon or Walmart have thousands of such robots. They equate this kind of robots to human workforce, and they declare how many robots they have. This replaces skilled labor, high labor cost, 24 bar 7 operational requirement. Of course, most of the e-commerce, even in India, they use these. Next one could be a pallet stacker. When you are going to use a racking system, you need some lifting device. Not only moving, it has to lift to a certain height. So various format of pallet stackers are available depending upon the requirement and budget. So the different weights and height can be combined. The kind of stacker which you see in the image can go up to 5 meters height, and the most popular one are the forklift. You can also call it as a counterbalance forklift. Most common, fast, flexible, and versatile. In order to stack, they must approach the face of the pallet to go to the 90 degrees square. Requires minimum aisle width of 3.5 meters or more. So you have to be careful on that. So there are some advanced computerized forklift truck is also available. The next form is the reach truck, especially when you have narrow aisles, maximum height up to 12 meters. Okay, when you want to go to higher levels, you may use this kind of reach trucks. Narrow aisles or turret trucks is there where you can use it in a narrow aisles. So the width between the rack could be 1.5 meters. There are also some special kind of articulated forklift where you can pick the items at a 90% degree. You can see in the image what is available. Used for truckload and unload, also deliver pallets directly to the racking. Okay, so no need of rotating the vehicle, so you can save the space. Of course, the other popular thing is automatic storage and retrieval system. You can see in the image very narrow aisle, but this item is capable of handling the pallet either for storage or retrieval. Utilized fixed path crane to collect pallet at the front of the racking system and transport them to the empty location within the racking. Of course, this kind of system I have handled in my previous organization. Not very expensive, but still a management feel when you have a cheap labor, they don't want to go to this. Specialized equipment or attachment, you can see some crane form when you are trying to lift heavy weights. You need special equipment where you can have extended fork, crane attachments, boom attachment. May be possible that you can use the same forklift, but you must order all this extra attachment so that you can handle special grade of goods. Even for example, if you are trying to handle barrels or cable bobbins, you need some special attachment. Drum grip and clamps, cotton clamps. So all these are attachment. You can use the same forklift, but you can have these kind of attachment. So this gives just a comparison chart for various material handling equipment. For example, you can see the product type, lift height, and aisle width. So you have to be careful when you are selecting the kind of equipment you should factor in, especially the aisle width and the lift height. And you can also see in this list what is the lifting capacity available for each of these categories from and to, and also you have some cost intimation here, but you can always check the current price. Maybe this price is bit old. So what kind of a product is applicable for which range. So you can see different kinds of product. Of course, this is courtesy from Toyota, but you will have different variety from different vendors. Hope you are able to get some basic idea about storage methods as well as handling by seeing this video. If you have any doubts or clarification, you are always welcome to reach out to me or our executives. Even if you need a certificate for this program, we can provide. Only thing, you may have to take a online multiple choice question test. More importantly, you have to subscribe to our channel, watch all the videos, like and comment in all the videos, and the e-certificate will be issued. And this is available at a very nominal throwaway price. The purpose is to promote the channel. So any one of you interested, for a limited time, you can avail the certificate at the end of this program. One of our most popular program throughout the world is supply chain analytics. These are essentially required if you are in the job market and looking for a job in multinational organization with a high pay package. You need two things. One is having knowledge on supply chain analytics, and also globally as a recognized certification program. These two are a must if you are looking for your career progression. You can visit our websites for both live and self-paced program, or reach out to our executive in this given numbers. So any doubts, any one of you watching live, do you need any clarification? Of course, it is very easier to reach to me or to our executives, whether you are watching this program live or offline. I have given the contact numbers. You can reach out. Request you to encourage your colleagues or other contacts to watch this free program and upskill their knowledge level. So thanks for watching.